Good morning, everybody. Johnny Hernandez here with
Monce with Accra in the Barrio.
Today, we're doing a special quick interview and a highlight on the outcry in the Barrio in Pharr, Texas. You know, this is a Christ-based, Christ-driven rehabilitation center.
Yes, it's a Christ-centered program. Yes,
it's
sir.
a Christ-centered program. You know, I think it's a very important highlight. This being my first, this does touch a special heart for me. One, because this is a heart of my community, and I met Pastor Monce a few weeks ago. He did ask for a special favor. You know, these men do need an extra, a new AC unit, you know, for the dorms, which we'll be showing later, you know, in this video. But for now, let's get started with Pastor Monce. How did Outcry in the Barrio come to be?
Well, Accra in the Barrio was started by a founding pastor named Freddy Garcia. He was a heroin addict, wanted to change so bad, but he couldn't change. He tried different programs, and eventually he ended up in a teen challenge in California. And there is when he was introduced to the person of Jesus Christ. And then he came down into San Antonio, where he's from, and opened up his home and brought in other men that had problem with drugs and alcohol. And eventually one of those guys that came into his home came down to McAllen, to the Valley area, and opened up an outcry home back in 1983. His name was Rolando Valdez. So he opened up his home and started bringing in other men that had problem with drugs and alcohol. And one of those guys was my pastor, which is Rolando Valdez, that came down in 1983, if I'm not mistaken, to the Rio Grande Valley and opened up his home in McAllen. And then I came in a few years later, in 91, as a 16-year-old kid, and I was introduced to the person of Christ. I get saved. I have a call to help other people, because most of my friends are either in jail, dead, or roaming the streets. I have a few that are very successful, but not too many of them. So God put a desire in my heart to open up a home and help other men and introduce them to Christ. So in 1999, I came into the city of Pharr and opened up this home in the city of Pharr.
So we've been open since 1999 here.
Yes, sir. We are 25 years open this year.
Nice. Okay. Another question we had is, how many men stay here at any given time?
At any given time, we have between 25 to 30 guys in the home. It fluctuates. Guys come in. The home is 4 months, 6 months, or up to a year. And it's up to them how long they want to stay.
Okay. And then also, I know the first time we met, I was really impressed because I didn't know what type of schedule do the men have when they're here staying.
The home is very intense. The reason why we make it so intense is because if a guy really wants to change, he'll say, man, I'll do whatever it takes for me to change. And when I say intense, is we have an early wake up. At 6 a.m., the guys are up. It's wake up time in all our homes at 6 a.m. 6:30 breakfast is served. From 6:30 to 7:30, they eat breakfast, do general cleanup, wash dishes, somebody mops, somebody cleans the restrooms. They have 30 minutes to get ready from 6 to 6:30, breakfast at 6:30. Then they clean up. And by 7:30, we get into our morning drills. And by 8 a.m., we're in prayer. From 8 to 8:30, we get into prayer, corporate prayer. And then we do some praise and worship. By 9 a.m., we're in Bible study all the way to 10:30. At 10:30, we take a break where we have a snack, coffee. One of the rules we have in the home is always has to be fresh coffee. So we have them fresh coffee and some kind of pastry or some kind of snack for them. And then we came back into class at 11 to 12. At 12, we do lunch, and then they do cleanup. And then at 1 o'clock, usually, there will be a group of older guys that go out and evangelize. They take out some cards and go and talk to people about Christ. We teach them how to give their testimony and talk to other people in the streets until 3 or 4 o'clock. And while the older guys are outside evangelizing, there's a group here, the younger group, that they get taught the Word of God. They get into Bible study until 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, we have dinner, and then after dinner, we do cleanup once again. The home always has to be clean, because some people, when they think of Accra in Nevada, they think that I have a guy in the dorm doing tattoos, and somebody's in the back having a smoking break. But there's no smoking, there's no drinking, there's nothing like that here in this home. It's a Christ-centered program. So by 7 p.m., we're back in chapel, prayer, praise and worship. Chapel by 9 p.m., we break. We take another snack break, some coffee, and by 10 o'clock, lights are out.
Lights are out. All right. Is there any testimonies of men that you hold close to your heart or that just stick out? Like, I remember this man came here and he went on to
Yes, I actually, I have three homes here. We have the Brownsville home. We have three locations in the valley. We have the Brownsville home, the Pharr home, and we have the Rio Grande City home. And out of Rio Grande City, I have Pastor George Guajardo, Pastor Elliot. They came out of the home. They came into the home 2014. Pastor Elliot came into the home. He was a drug addict. He wasn't a pastor. He was just a drug addict, a guy that was lost, had a wife, 2 kids, and Jesus restores him. Jesus changes him. And the funny thing about him, I'm going to tell you the story, is that he gets saved. He goes to work, starts working, and he says, but he's driving from Laredo because he's living in Laredo at that time. He's driving an hour and 45 minutes to come to church on Sunday mornings and on Wednesday nights with his wife and his kids. He has 2 kids at that time. That's 2014 when he gets saved. 2024, along that season, he has another child, a little baby. His name is Lincoln, and Lincoln is like maybe 5 years old now. And so one day I tell Pastor, give your testimony. Tell people what Jesus did in your life. So he's giving his testimony, how he was in jail, he was involved in drugs and alcohol. And his little boy walks up to him after service and he goes, Daddy, I didn't know you were in jail. But that's the transformation that Jesus has made in this man's life, that his son had no knowledge of his father's past life. Now, if you talk to his oldest daughter, she will remember that life, but that's the miracle that Jesus done. The home director that helps me in Brownsville, he's a 30-year veteran of the armed forces. He was in the Air Force 30 years. He retired, but he had an alcohol problem. But he had an encounter with Jesus. Jesus changes his life, and now he helps me. He's a retired veteran. Went through a lot of stuff. Went through a couple of wars, couple battles, and now he is the home director in Brownsville, and he helps other men and teaches them the Word of God and cares for them and loves them. The home director in Rio Grande City, George Guajardo, he came into the home in 2010. But Jesus restores him, changes him. He's married now. Him and his wife help me direct the home in Rio Grande City. And Pastor Eli helps me. He's my co-pastor in the church. And then the 2 guys that are here, they're the 2 newest ones. That one, George Salavaz has been here for 2 years, and Luis has been here about 8 months. So these are the youngest guys that help me right now.
Nice. Another thing that caught me by surprise is that you guys are 100% donation driven.
Yes.
There is no government help.
We don't have any government help. The moment that the government will get involved in our home, we have to kick Jesus out. A lot of people say, why is your home so successful? Because guys keep on coming in. Guys will knock on that door 24 hours a day, and we always receive them. And people ask, well, how you guys do this? Because Christ is the one that manages this home. We can't do it. So if the government were to get involved, I would have to kick Jesus out. And if I kick Jesus out, then I am no longer successful. I will be just like every other program. And I can't be like that. Jesus is the one that changes, transforms, and rescues men off the streets. He's the one that draws them here, and he's the one that keeps them here.
That's beautiful. Okay. Off the top of your head, how much does it cost to run a facility like this per week or per month?
Weekly, it takes, and that's, we don't have too many volunteers or too many people on payroll. Most of our guys are like on small stipends that come in from in-kind donations. But it takes about $3,200 a week to run the home.
So that's how much we're looking, just to run each home.
To run each home.
To run each home. And like you just mentioned, there is volunteers that come help.
Yes.
On top of that. Now,
and a lot of the volunteers, Johnny, for you to know, is guys that graduated the home, and they come back. And then they come back and volunteer their time here.
Yes. Yeah. On that note, after our first meeting, I was kind of rolled into the story of how we met and our meeting with a friend of mine. And I explained to him what I want to do, to help you guys in any way. And when I mentioned the Alcrona Barrio, he was like, wait a minute, so that's a real program. He was like, I've seen him in the streets selling bread. He goes, so that's not a scam? And I explained as best as I could what you explained, but could you just kind of explain how that that program works and how much it helps you guys here.
Yeah, in-kind donations, or the guys that go out and fundraise, is about 80% of our funding. There are some people that do send a check monthly, but it doesn't cover the expenses that we need here. So when a guy comes into the home, after 30 days, I never send a guy under 30 days out in the street. So if a guy's been here over 30 days, we ask him. It's not, no one is forced to be out there. We ask him, we have a conversation. Hey, would you like to help now? Help us fundraise so that we can keep our doors open and help other people. And after 30 days, a guy will say, yes, I'll help you. And then it's always according to how his progress is here in the home. We try not to send, new guys, or untrained guys, because they can give, outcry a bad testimony. So we try to send the best guys that we have, or the oldest guys that are more mature enough to go out there and help bring funds into the home.
And mostly it is like the banana breads and stuff like that.
It's the banana bread.
And you guys bake those here.
And we bake those here. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So that right there, that's what I was telling him. Like, no, these guys are baking the bread themselves. They're helping raise money for obviously $3,000 a week. To run each home. Okay, so kind of wrap it up, Pastor Monce. How much need from our community does the home need?
Well, I think one of the mistakes that people have when I come down to fundraising, especially our guys that are in the streets, one of the questions that pops up is, well, how come they just don't go work? Well, because a lot of our guys that are in the home, I want you to understand that they're talented, they're gifted. Some are carpenters, mechanics, they're professionals. They make a lot of money. Some of them do make a lot of money. Some go out of town and make money. The problem is that when they have a $20 bill, they're not sure whether to say, man, I need to buy Pampers for my kid, or go and use it on drugs. And that's the biggest problem. They don't have the strength and the foundation to be able to say, no, I'm going to use it on. So here in the home, that's where they build that foundation. So how does the community help us that? Well, they can help by being more supportive of the home and saying, man, I can give this or help this way to the home. So the more help I get from the outside, the less I will have to send the guys out. That's really how it will work.
Yes, I know for the last few years, me and my family and my office make it a point to donate hygiene bags. That was a small part of what I did. So is that welcome? Hygiene bags, cleaning supplies, food, are these items welcomed here? Or?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I tell the guys sometimes they're outside fundraising and they'll say, man, I don't have any cash on me right now, or I can't help. Or they'll say, what else can I give you? Because I don't want to give you cash. And I always tell them, hey, get us a pack of toilet paper, get us some toothpaste, get me a thing of fabuloso, stuff that we use in the home. And they can always bring it here. They can call the home and we can pick it up. But everything is welcome. Everything is used here.
Everything is in need.
Everything's in need,
cleaning
yes, sir.
Supplies, foods, hygiene, all that is
especially hygiene, because there's some guys that come off the streets. We have two types of people that come into the house. We get into our home. There's guys that come in that they don't have a place to stay. They were in the streets. And not because they were homeless. It's just that their family were like, I love you, but you're no longer welcome here. Your behavior is not welcome here. You need to go somewhere else. So they've been in the streets, living in the street. They come here and they don't have a toothbrush. They don't have toothpaste. They don't have soap. They don't have body wash. Some don't have clothing or whatever, right? So that's how we can use that stuff for those guys. And then we have other guys that their family loves them. I love my dad. I love my son. I love my wife. I love my daughter. But they need help. And then they bring them to the home and they bring their supplies. So we get both. A lot of people think that we're just for the homeless. No, it's for anyone that says, I just need a change in my life.
And like you said, what was the word that we had said earlier, as far as the intensity? It's an intense. This is not lax. This is intense.
Yes, because there's a saying that my pastor will always say, an idle mind is a devil's playground. And that's why here in this home, we don't have TV time. We don't have breaks of, we're just going to chill and play volleyball. Now it's part of it. There's a time and a moment, but Monday through Friday, it's intense.
It's intense.
Yes.
Pastor Monce, I want to thank you for your time, and I also want to thank you for all the work you do in this community.
Thank you.
Know, this right here, meeting you touched my heart. It's something that I feel I had to share with the world. Thank you for everything you do.
No, I appreciate
Pastor,
it. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much. We're going to help get a new air conditioning unit for this home. So later on, we'll be sharing the Cash App for our friend Barrio. This is going to be their direct Cash App, guys. So if you guys want to donate $5, $10, $20, $100, once we do meet our AC goal, the air conditioning goal, and just on a side note, I will be donating for every dollar donated. I'm going to match that dollar till we do reach our goal of getting this new AC unit, which is $3,200. We do have some already. I'll be explaining that later on. But even after that, as this video plays on, if you see the video, if it comes into your heart to donate, the Cash App will be there, and that'll be going directly to the Outcry in the Barrio, because like we said, it's $3,000 a week to run this home, and we have 3 homes just locally here in the Valley. So I thank you for your time, guys, and thank you, Pastor Monce.
Yes, sir. Thank you.